Hi, welcome to some Christmas cheer. So today is December 12th, 2023 as I am filming this, and it's a day before my birthday. I'm very excited, even though I'll be working 13-hour shifts that day, which is tomorrow. I'm still thankful for this far God has brought me. So I decided to do this video in commemoration of what we did over the weekend. I'm part of a church community that goes through different activities that we do throughout the year. But this past Sunday, we went to a shelter that hosts women and children that have gone through domestic violence. And this was kind of one of those things which was so touching to me as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, and even as a healthcare professional. Because these are things we see within our places of work, within our churches, within our community. However, we don't talk about them as much as we should. So that's why I decided to jump onto this video just to bring out some basic points on what this is. So anyway, to just get us started, what is domestic violence? So domestic violence is a complex issue that affects millions worldwide. It involves a pattern of behaviors used by the partner to maintain power and control over their victims within an intimate relationship. So most of the time this happens within couples, within spouses, those in relationship like girlfriend, boyfriend, or even fiancés. As of my last knowledge update in January 2022, here are some of the statistics related to domestic violence globally. The prevalence, according to the World Health Organization, about 1 in 3, which is 30% of women worldwide, have experienced physical and or sexual intimate violence from their partners or non-partner. And this is in a lifetime. In the United States, on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner, amounting to more than 10 million women and men annually. The impact is on women. So let's talk about women. Women between the ages of 18 to 24 are the most commonly affected by intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence is a significant cause of death and disability for women aged 15 to 44 years globally. This is more than cancer, traffic accidents, malaria, and war combined. How about the impact on children? Witnessing violence between parents or caregivers is a form of child abuse and has been linked to a range of adverse outcomes in children, including behavioral problems, psychological disorders, and an increased risk of becoming victims or perpetrators of violence in the future. Did you know that there is underreporting in terms of domestic violence? It's important to know that domestic violence is widely underreported. Many survivors do not seek help or report the abuse due to fear, shame, financial dependence, cultural factors, or even lack of support. Domestic violence can have a deadly consequence. Globally, an estimated 137 women are killed by a partner or family member every single day. We also have the impact of the pandemic. During the COVID-19 pandemic, there were concerns about an increase in domestic violence cases due to lockdowns and restraints, which confined victims with their abusers and limited their access to support system. Despite the severity of abuse, victims always find themselves in challenging positions and may not leave their abusive partners. There are multiple reasons behind the decision that need consideration. So here are some of the reasons why victims stay with their abusers. Number 1, fear. This is because of fear of retaliation, harm to themselves or their loved ones, or even their fear of the unknown. This can paralyze victims, making them feel trapped. Number 2, financial dependence. Many victims rely on their abusers for financial support, lacking the means to sustain themselves or their children if they leave. Number 3, emotional attachment. Despite the abuse, victims might still love their partners or hold on to the hope that the abusers will change, especially if the relationship had positive moments. This is worse when there are children involved who are closer to the abusive partner. Number 4, isolation. Abusers often isolate their victims from friends, family, or support networks, making them feel they have nowhere to turn to. Number 5, cultural or religious beliefs. Societal or cultural norms or pressures from the community might discourage victims from leaving or even seeking help. Number 6, shame and guilt. Victims may feel ashamed, believing the abuse is their fault, or fearing judgment from others if they disclose the situation. So what are some of the potential effects of domestic violence? Number 1, physical injuries. The immediate impact of domestic violence can result in severe physical injuries, sometimes leading to hospitalizations or even long-term health problems. Number 2, psychological trauma. Victims often suffer from anxiety, depression, PTSD, and other mental health issues due to prolonged exposure to abuse. 3, impact on children. Witnessing domestic violence can have detrimental effects on children, affecting their emotional, social, and even cognitive development. Number 4, self-esteem. Constant belittling and emotional abuse can erode a victim's sense of self-worth, leading to long-term self-esteem issues. Number 5, cyclical nature. Without intervention, domestic violence can become a cycle, repeating in future relationships or within the same relationship, even after attempts to leave. So, do you know there are resources out there that can help you as a victim, or even pass it on to somebody you know who may be going through domestic violence? So here are 7 resources that somebody can utilize. So the first thing is domestic violence hotlines. If you're here in the United States, National Domestic Violence Hotline offers 24/7 support information, including safety planning and resources. So just call the number 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or you can visit the website at www.thehotline.org. Depending on where you are located, you can Google and find out other domestic violence hotlines. Number 2, shelter and safe housing. Just like the one we went to, it was amazing. It's a beautiful place that these women who were very courageous had to leave their abusive relationship. Some are single, some are with their children, and they are getting food, they're getting shelter. They are connected with different resources. So these are safe and confidential spaces where victims and domestic violence can seek refuge, get counseling, and even have access to resources. Local shelters can provide temporary housing, support groups, legal advocacy, and assistance in obtaining resources like food and clothing. Number 3, counseling and support. Many organizations offer counseling services and even support groups specifically tailored for survivors of domestic violence. These sessions can provide emotional support, trauma counseling, and guidance for moving forward. Number 4, legal aid and advocacy services. Legal aid services provide legal assistance to victims of domestic violence, including help with restraining orders, navigating the legal system, and understanding their rights. They may also offer advocacy and support through the courts. Number 5, community-based organizations. Local community organizations often offer various services such as crisis intervention, case management, education, outreach programs aimed at supporting survivors of domestic violence. Number 6, medical assistance. Hospitals, clinics, and healthcare professionals can provide medical care and documentation for injuries sustained during domestic violence. They can also connect victims with social workers or counselors for additional support. Number 7, online resources and apps. There are numerous websites, apps, and even online resources providing information, safety planning tips, educational materials, and access to support services. Organizations like RAIN, which is Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, provide online resources that chat services for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. These resources are crucial for the victims seeking assistance and support. It's essential to research local resources and organizations within your area, as services may vary depending on your region and available support network. In conclusion, understanding the complexities surrounding domestic violence is crucial. Empathy, support, and accessible resources are vital in helping victims break free from abusive relationships. It's essential to create a culture where victims feel empowered to seek help without fear of judgment, and where abusers are held accountable for their actions through education, legal support, and community involvement. Domestic violence is a deeply ingrained societal issue that requires a collective effort to address. By comprehending the reasons victims stay and recognizing the potential effects, we can work towards creating a safer, more supportive environment for survivors to seek help and rebuild their life. Thank you for joining me in this video, and I hope you can identify and help somebody who's going through domestic violence. This is not an easy topic to talk about. Women are mostly affected, but don't get me wrong, there are men out there too who are going through domestic violence. So please, let us protect ourselves, protect our future, protect our children. If you feel that you are trapped in a relationship that you do not feel safe in, please seek help. It's better safe than sorry. You don't want to be another statistics in domestic violence where you end up losing your life, you end up being disabled, or even your children end up going through mental breakdown because they witnessed you going through an abusive relationship. Together we can empower each other, and together we can help victims seek help and even just realize that they are not weak, they are strong. So this video is brought in memory of my event that I went to this past Sunday. It was very enlightening, it was very rewarding, and it was just nice to see that people, or let me be specific, women can stand strong and walk out of these abusive relationships. If you haven't, please consider subscribing and be part of this growing channel. In this channel, we talk about lifestyle, motivation, and vlog. I bring weekly videos that are very educative. We continue learning from each other, and let me tell you, you will not regret. Till next time, peace out.